Because until then, we're just going to keep running around in circles. Right now, things are not moving the way we want it to move. Leaders are old, 92 years. What are you doing in power? Where are you leading us to? To the grave? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ben Rollins Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Rollins. I appreciate you for tuning in for today's episode. A lot of things have been happening in Africa, and every day things continue to happen. In as much as we want good governance in Africa, and we want young leaders who are going to put the people at the forefront of each and every policy that they put for the continent. We want leaders who are there for the people, who are going to serve the people and try to put the people's interests at heart and not just think about themselves. That's what we need from our leaders. And it is sad that we've been watching African leaders for a while now, and we can't really see that visionary leadership that we had in the past, like Nkrumah, for example, of the Gold Coast, currently known as Ghana. Those leaders had a vision for where they wanted to see, or a promised land where they wanted to take their people to. But today, it's not like that. For example, the last video I did, it was about my country, Cameroon. And we've had a president who have been in power for about 42 years now. He's still running for re-election, which is not an ideal scenario for any country. And it's sad, but that's what is happening in a lot of African countries. But the truth is this: in as much as we want all these changes and we want to see a better Africa, better leadership, we got to ask ourselves as youth, are we prepared for change? Because that's an important question. The reason I'm saying this is because when President William Ruto came into power, that's the president of Kenya, and he started talking, I was like, this guy is actually saying some things that make sense. And I was like, probably he might be the one who is going to be at the forefront of the Africa that we deserve, or the Africa that we all aspire to see. And he said a lot of things, and I was like, bro, this guy is onto something. A lot of things he's saying actually make sense. And if he continue in this trajectory, a lot of things are going to be better, not just for Kenya, but for the rest of Africa. And he got into power. First few months, he was hosting African leaders, talking about African climate and how Africa got to be at the forefront of a lot of things. And you're just sitting down and saying, oh, wow, finally we have someone who is going to work for the people. And recently I've been watching what is going on in Kenya with the protests and everything. And this is not the first time. That happened last year too, with the protests and everything. What I can say is the way that was handled was not right, using the police to oppress your own citizens. I understand that some people were violent, but something happened. It's either the police prompted them to become violent or the other way around. But if few people were violent, you're just going to take that set of people, you're just going to take those people and punish everybody else. Instead, you got to focus on that particular group. A lot of people were protesting peacefully, and just because there were some few bad apples does not mean that everybody is a bad actor. So that is very important. And the reason why the youth are coming out in Kenya is because they want change, and they want a leader that is actually going to address the concern of the people. Because what is happening now is you cannot just continue you cannot keep sending the police to oppress people. You have to at least try to understand where they're coming from and address the issue rather than just trying to oppress people. Gone are the days where these things are going to happen and people are just going to sit down and fold their hands. Now people got their own brains and they want to think and they don't want to understand, like, this thing that this guy is doing to me right now, does it really make sense? And not only that particular person, but the whole country. If a lot of people are protesting on a particular issue, then you have to sit down and say, oh, these people voted me into this position. I'm a president of the Republic of Kenya, and I have to listen to the voiceless, listen to the people who are protesting, what is their concern? How can I address it? That's how we do things, rather than using the police to oppress people. Because when you got into power, I thought the president of Kenya is going to do a fantastic job because he had a lot of things to say, a lot of good things. But looking at things now, I'm like, no, 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 no. So I believe that in order for us to build the Africa that we deserve and we aspire to see, each and every one of us got to work on ourselves individually and try to build ourselves mentally and educate ourselves in some areas that are really important, especially leadership. Leadership is very important, and we got to try to understand how to be a servant leader. And being a servant leader means you got to understand the people you're actually leading. You're not just a commander that you're just going to command people. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, got to do this. You have to try to understand where they're coming from. It's very important because sometimes you might lose focus and you forget that you became a president for a reason. And people voted for you because they believed that you had some policies or you had something that they need as a country, and they believed in you to bring hope to the people. But if you come or if you decide that you want to be a president and you have different motives, that's bad. I'm saying this to everybody in Africa right now. You have to try to learn how to become a true leader. Everybody is a leader. I say this, everybody is a leader. They've tried to enslave our mindset by letting us know leaders are born. And there's some people who are born leaders and why others are not born leaders. So some people are born followers, some people are born leaders. Everybody is a leader. But the question is this: when you say everyone is a leader, some people mentally are kind of confused because they believe that, or if everybody is a leader, who is going to follow? But the question I'm going to ask you is this: if you have a car and I were to ask you right now, which is the most important part of your car? Is it the battery? Is it the engine? Is it the spark plug? Is it the terminal wire? Is it the tire? Is it the tire? What is the most important part of your car? What are you going to say? The battery, because the battery got all the power. No. Every part of your car is important because one part cannot do without the other. And that's how leadership is. Everybody is a leader in their area of gifting. So each and every one of us are very important. We got a very important role to play. And the mindset of every African youth right now should be, I want to be a leader in my area of gifting and try to be an expert. If you're learning something, let's just assume that you're in the field of engineering. How can you become an expert in that field? That should be your main goal. And when you get to a certain point, you try to see how you can stretch your hands to help the other people who are trying to get to the level where you are right now. Instead of you just saying, oh, I got to this position, anybody who's coming here, no, they cannot be where I am right now. You just want to be the only person who is at the top. That's not right. We have to rise by lifting others. It's very important. We have to shift this mindset of me. It's not helping us. And that's what is happening to most of our leaders. And we frown at our leaders right now. But if they were to put you in that position, maybe you might do the same thing. That's why leadership is so important. And every African youth, learn how to be a leader. Even if you're doing engineering, leadership is important. Because if you're in charge of a project, you got to lead some people to make sure that project goes well. And if you're a leader and you don't know how to lead, how are you going to make sure the project is a success? So leadership is very crucial to every part or every aspect of life. And the moment we all sit down and try to strategize towards making Africa a better place and taking the practical steps every single day, it's going to remain the same. Let's not keep pointing fingers at the leaders. In as much as we have to point fingers and try to educate the leaders, because it has gotten to the point where Common sense is not common for these leaders. But at the same time, you and I got to understand what leadership entails and try to learn how to become a servant and true leader. Because until then, we're just going to keep running around in circles. Right now, things are not moving the way we want it to move. Leaders are old, 92 years. What are you doing in power? Where are you leading us to? To the grave? Come on. This should not be happening. We're producing engineers, producing businessmen, producing scientists, producing doctors, we're producing a lot of people every year in Africa. But the unemployment rate is high. And the problem is this: the leaders are not even creating policies that are going to help or encourage entrepreneurship or encourage creativity, where the people are going to try to solve the problems that the community is facing at a particular time. But at the same time, in as much as we want to blame the government, you and I got to sit down and say, oh, there's something I can do that is going to create an impact in my community. And just imagine you're doing that for your community, you're creating an impact. You're solving some problems that your community faces. And another person is doing that in another community. Another person is doing that in their own community. Just imagine where we're going to be. Imagine the kind of Africa that we're going to be living in. It's going to be great. The leaders are one of the major problems. But at the same time, you and I gotta understand that we have a role to play in this. And if you don't believe that you have a role in play, if you don't believe that you have a role to play in this, then that's a big problem, because now you're not in control. You just believe that, oh, if the leader does not put in good policies, your life you're gonna go astray. You have to control what you can control and leave what you cannot control. What you can control is try to be the best citizen possible and try to solve problems in your community. Try to be impactful. Try to help people. Help. We have to help our people. Stop looking at people outside as the best and then you disregard your own people because you believe that, oh, the other person is better than your own brother. That's not how that's not how it should be. We should appreciate our own. We have some of the best, some of the most educated people you can ever find on earth. But sometimes we disregard our own to appreciate someone's own. If you want to appreciate some other person from somewhere else and you ignore or disregard your own brother, that's sad. But it's a sad reality. And we have to change this mindset. In order to build an Africa that we truly deserve, we have to change our mindset, because at the end of the day, it's a mind game. That's how our ancestors were deceived. And they sold their brothers, sold their sisters as slaves. And brothers were working in plantations. Separation of families. Why? Because they deceived them. And we cannot be living in that same mindset up to today. Believing in things that are absurd and not true, but we still believe them. Why? Because it was we're indoctrinated with some bad ideas, and we believe them as truth. Not everybody who is sincere is telling the truth. Sincerity is not truth. Someone might be sincere, but the person is not saying the truth. He might be sincerely wrong. And we have to differentiate sincerity from truth, because they're not the same thing. You and I, the African youth, have to sit down, reflect, think. Is this the Africa I want? Is this the Africa that I want to live in? Is this the Africa that is going to bring great things to my community? What are some of the problems and challenges my people are facing? And what can I do to solve this problem or help facilitate the solution to this challenge? This is how we have to start thinking. Until then, nothing is going to change. Even if you put a leader that we believe is going to do some great things, the moment that that gets into power and don't really know what true leadership entails, he might follow in the same path of the person he criticized before getting to that same position. So it is a very, very, very important thing. We all, as African youths, got to be true leaders. Learn how to become a leader. Understand people. Ask questions. Read books. Study some servant leadership in the world. Have role models. Have a mentor. Be a student of life because you don't know everything. We all are students of life and we're trying to figure this thing out. The moment you believe that you know everything, you're failing yourself. And that's how a lot of our leaders have failed us. And you don't want to be like that. So take actions today that is going to help you improve and become a better version of yourself. Thank you very much and see you in the next episode. We're going to keep talking until Africa becomes a better place. And when Africa becomes a better place, we're going to keep talking about the greatness for Africa. Let's keep spreading the message. Please, if you gain value from this video or this episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to our channel, please do us a favor. Subscribe to our channel so you can be and click on the notification bell so you can be the first person to be notified when we drop any future episode. And as always, thank you for everything you do. Share this episode with your loved ones, family, and friends. Thank you. See you in the next episode.